Okay, welcome back. We are setting up with Dan Thompson from Claris
I got a little
Network.
woozy just from all of that.
So we've been frantically trying to get everything set up for Dan because this is, and you can keep on working, Dan, but this is something called
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
virtual reality.
So virtual reality, that's right. And so this specific unit is called Oculus Rift. And what this is it's probably the most talked about piece of hardware that you've never heard of.
Okay.
So this has a huge following in the technology community, has lots of energy and buzz behind it. Facebook actually just bought this company for $2 billion.
When you say virtual reality, I remember this was really huge about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was kind of on the cutting edge, and then it kind of seemed like it just fizzled away. Is it coming back?
Yeah, that's right. So there's been many people take a swing at this, and very few people actually be successful at it. And that's kind of what we're seeing today. And that's really why there's so much buzz around the Oculus, is this device simply, it's able to capture the things that we've been after for all those years. What the problem is, mostly with virtual reality, is that people get sick when they put it on. And the reason why is so the idea here is that we'll put this mask on you guys here in just a second. It's a stereoscopic image. What that means is there's a screen for both eyeballs.
Okay.
And as you move your head, you can look around the environment. Well, what happens is latency causes you to get that uneasy
There's
feeling.
a little delay when you look
Right.
at the
You
image
move your
catches
head,
up, right?
your brain is expecting the image to move, and then it doesn't. And so what the people at Oculus Rift has done is kind of perfect that. So I think we're set up and ready here. Let me grab
Okay.
this
You
and
wanna
make
do it
sure
first,
everything's
Jules?
going.
Oh, yeah, sure, David.
So what we are doing here is you're on just a little virtual roller coaster. Let me spin this around.
Now, do I go ahead and put this on?
Sure, yeah.
And I put it on this way?
Yes, yes. There you go. So now if you look at my
Oculus
screen, you can
Wait,
see
I don't see anything.
hopefully what she's seeing, maybe not.
It's all
Oh,
black.
we're seeing it.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, pop that off and I'll figure that out in
Sorry.
just a second. That's how I described. So essentially what she's going to see as soon as we get this worked out is this image that you can see on my
Let me
screen.
hold it. Go ahead and zoom in on his screen, and I'll just kind of move it around because you can't see it on the screen
So it's
pretty well.
like I was saying, it's an image for each eyeball. So you have this mashed all the way up to your face. So as you're moving your head around, the image moves inside. So obvious application for this is gaming, right? So if you think about, all the first-person shooters that have been around for forever, I mean, how cool would that be? Is you're walking through the environment, you're moving your head around, and then, you're actually, you feel more immersed in the environment,
So you're a
right?
part of the game,
Yeah,
truly.
that's right. That's right. So what's interesting, though, is all the other applications for this outside of gaming. And in reality, probably why Facebook bought Oculus as a company. So
What would those be? What would those reasons be?
I actually got this on loan from the University of Tennessee. Now you're thinking,
I
okay,
just saw it says property of University of
I know.
Tennessee. I was like,
Why
man, you need to tell
why
us
would the
something.
university have this sort of thing? So this is actually from their design and engineering department. And what they're doing with it is 3D image work. So like say you as a customer, let's say you guys have decided you want to commission a building and you want to get an idea of what that building's going to look like after it's built.
Oh,
so they
wow.
model it all in 3D and then you can put on Oculus and literally walk through the environment and and get a feel for what the image or what the building will feel like. Other applications of this in the virtual community. So one of the gentlemen that helped me get all this set up and let us borrow it has Parkinson's disease.
Oh.
And so what he told me was, hey, you'll never get people with Parkinson's to go to a support group. And the reason being is when they show up, they see people who are farther along than they are, and so it's a depressing experience. Well, what they have done is using a online community called Second Life. It's a virtual community. They've paired that with Oculus, so now you can show up to a support group meeting as your virtual self, which can be whatever you want it to be, and have very real and very engaging conversations. You kind of feel like you're in the room.
It's like a Skype or GoToMeeting, but
It's
you're
exactly
like really there.
It's exactly like that, and you can move your head around, interact. And he was like, they literally have 10 or 15 people that show up to these things every week, and he said it's just an awesome support community. Pretty crazy.
Can you integrate images of real people, or does everybody have their own icon, or how does that work?
So the way it works today is everybody has their sort of their own avatar, right? So you can be whatever you want to. Where this is going, though, and if the demo were working properly,
You know what we'll do, though?
You can see it fine. That's what people
And
at
we'll
home
cut
want to
this
see.
short and see if we can make it work, and then we'll come back to it.
Sure,
in a
yeah,
second.
absolutely.
I love the roller coaster.
Where we're going with all this is, and you can see this room here that we're kind of flying through as a roller coaster is very photorealistic. So the couch, all the texturing looks good. So obviously the end game here is we want this to look as real as possible. Next generation of this, so the unit that you're holding right now, Dave, is standard def. The next unit, which comes out later this month, is high def. You would think these things would be outrageously expensive. Today, it's only $350.
Really?
This is $350?
Yeah.
So could schools use it? And that way
Absolutely.
kids could be transported to the rainforest or whatever?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's kind of where, like, my vision for this whole thing is it's like, how can I, you know, like, I love to travel. How could I capture a travel experience, and then you could put that on and you're immediately transported to wherever it is. I mean, that's kind of the idea behind virtual reality. So, but, you know, other applications, I mean, think about training firefighters initially without having to be in an actual burning building, or, you know, paramedics or any military, any of those.
You know, the one thing that worries me about this is that kids spend so much time sitting on the computers. If I were a kid, if I were 14, 15, 16, all day on the couch.
Right.
This is me all
because you
day
get
on the
sick.
couch.
Yeah, and so the next generation also includes a multi-directional treadmill. So where they're going with this is that you're on a treadmill. You can actually run through a virtual environment, you know, as a first-person shooter, whatever the game is. So.
Okay, let me ask you something. I know that we had to hurry and get you set up.
Yes.
Do you think if you had a few more minutes, you could tweak it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, why don't we do this then? Why don't we save time?
Okay.
We're going to go to break, get some of our other guests in.
Sure.
You take your time, and when you've got it up and running, then you and I are going to demonstrate it.
Absolutely.
And
Okay,
see how
perfect.
strong
Let's
our
do it.
stomachs are.
We'll do it.
ClarisNetworks.com is where you can go to learn more, and Dan's going to be back, and we're going to find out how fun this is.
Oculus Prime.